The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are not necessarily representative of the Coalition or of any other entity. This content is intended for mature audiences only.
What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 43. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Anthony Nash.
What's up, everybody?
And Jake James Lugo.
How's it going, everybody? What's happening?
Not much, man. Not much. Little bit of a slow weekend. Another one of these. It's the summer. It's like, nothing's fucking happening. You know, it kind of sucks. I know it's kind of been like that with you guys, too. It's just kind of just lethargy, like, setting in, you know?
Yeah, summer, I mean, kind of drags on when there's nothing to really play or do anything. Well, I guess you could catch up on other stuff that you're missing, but not much to do, really.
Yeah, and JJ and Chris and I are reuniting. We actually did a spoiler alert for you guys for Ant-Man. So if you saw that, make sure you check out our podcast. We got, as usual, we got really in-depth about the movie, about the comics, all that good shit. So without further ado, let's jump into the questions. Final Stage Boss, as always, starts us off here. People seem divided on whether or not The Last of Us should get a sequel. Some people think the story and ending was too good and shouldn't be expanded on, but others think there's more story to tell. What do you guys think? I'll go first. I'm going to say the same thing I've always been saying. No, it doesn't need a sequel at all. The ending was perfect, and if there was more to it, it kind of ruins it, the whole thing with Joel and Ellie. So if you have to do one, set it either afterwards, like with a different group of people, or before it. Like, I think it would just kind of tarnish it, if you were to do like a flat out sequel with the same characters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you think, Nash? Since you're
I think that if you did a sequel, it would have to be with different people, like either like a different group, or maybe like Joel's brother, or something that has nothing to do with Joel and Ellie, because their story kind of has like finality to it. Like, it's sort of like, okay, this happened, and there's, like, no going back. Like, we just have to kind of live with what happened. So,
yeah.
Right, I mean, I would love a sequel. Maybe if you play as Ellie only and something happens, or I don't know. But there's no reason to continue the story between Joel and Ellie, because that had a great ending already.
Yeah, exactly. JJ, get in here. What do you think?
Honest to God, I mean, I don't mind a sequel to The Last of Us or whatnot, but I would rather have it told either from a different character's point of view, or tell me a different type of story about the world. Because, again, like you said, Joel and Ellie's, I almost said Eddie, Ellie's story is already pretty much, it has a good ending, and again, it brings a lot of questions of why that game's even getting like a movie type of like iteration and such. But like, if you're gonna revisit that world again, tell me a story about different characters that are dealing with the harsh environment of all the stuff that's going on, or maybe even go back and try to tell me a little bit more about like the outbreak and such, or even just the post all of that, like way into the future after Joel and Eddie. Eddie. I said it again, Ellie. Because I had something to eat earlier, so I meant Ellie.
All right, Chris, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I agree. Don't do a direct follow-up to Joel and Ellie's story. I would love to see a story about his brother, right?
Yeah,
like
Tommy.
He did all this stuff. He got a town up and running. That would be an interesting to see his struggles. Or he could do a prequel story. Joel had like 20 years from the intro where his daughter died till we get to the main game, right?
And there's definitely
that's a long span of time.
There's moments where it seems like Tommy like hints at stuff that like Joel not being like a good person, or like being afraid of Joel at points where like you could definitely kind of explore.
Yeah, we could definitely see like how they broke up because at some point they separated, and maybe Joel did some stuff that he didn't agree with. Like maybe Joel is a dark person, He could have been exactly like those raiders you fight in the game. He could have been exactly like one of those guys at one point in his life, and then he changed. That would be interesting to see. Also, more stuff with the cordyceps, the infection, like seeing how where that even came from,
Mhm.
you know. So I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think we all agree. Like, we don't need to know more about Joel and Ellie like after that point, but before that, yeah, there's plenty of story to tell. You know. All right, next question here. I'm not into the game streaming fad. I've never had the desire to stream my gameplay, and I don't understand the fascination with watching others play games instead of playing a game myself. Do you guys like to stream and watch other people play games instead of playing yourself? JJ, why don't you go first, since you
Okay,
stream for
well,
us every
because
night?
I know a lot about this, but basically, I have knowledge of both sides of of the equation here, because I've not only watched a lot of streamers, in some form or fashion, and I have friends that are actual streamers, big name streamers, and then I also do some streaming myself here and there. The streaming thing, again, it's much like the same way of watching a Let's Play on YouTube. It's for an acquired audience, an acquired taste. If you get caught up on the fact that you're not playing the game and you would rather be playing the game at that point, then you're kind of missing the point of streaming and missing the point of Let's Plays. What you're really watching them for is not only the reactions of the people and the humor and the personality that's on camera and such, but you're also watching it for any of the fun moments that that person has with their experience with whatever game that they're playing and such. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be just a straight playthrough of a particular game. Like let's say you're just sitting there and you're playing The Last of Us and you're just playing it straight through. It doesn't streaming games doesn't necessarily have to be like that, or Let's Plays don't necessarily have to be like that. You could just be sitting there with a bunch of friends playing like Street Fighter or Smash Brothers and still get the same type of effect, if not a much more interesting type of experience to portray to the audience and kind of like bring to the people that are watching, your viewers, and it'll still be just as effective. I find it a little bit funny how a lot of people say that, but like really say that in the sense where they're kind of looking down on Let's Plays and look down on looking at people streaming video games, because if there really wasn't a relevance for that, then we wouldn't have guys like PewDiePie who are like ridiculously high in like their subscribers and their viewer count, making ridiculous
And their
amounts of money off
yeah.
of doing that. Yeah. It's a thing. Again, if you're not into it, then either you just haven't got it and maybe you should take another look, or maybe it's just not for you and you're better off looking at some type of other type of content online.
Yeah, I think it's deeper than just watching somebody play games, because I mean I watch people stream sometimes too, but it's like it has to be a certain stuff. I usually try to watch somebody play games like Telltale's games or something, like because it's more about like the experience, and games that like elicit emotions from people. It's fun to see how other people react to stuff that you've already reacted to.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
look at the people who do all FNAF videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. My thing is with the question itself, he goes the fad. It's been around for years. So I don't think you could call it a fad anymore. And it's the fact that so many people do it. And all the new consoles, they allow you to do it as well. It's not a fad. It's a full-blown thing.
Why he probably calls it a fad is probably because, again, it's become more popular over the last couple of years, even though it's been around for a long time. That's the thing, because you got guys that are on YouTube that are like really popularizing the idea of a Let's Play, or just, again, stream channels that are just like individuals, not companies or not groups and startups from different people like Game Grumps or something, but like individuals like Angry Joe, like PewDiePie, like Kid Icarus, etc., that are all like getting really popular and garnering a lot of attention because of their personality. It's not so much why they're actually playing the game or like what they're doing in the game, it's their personality on camera.
Yeah, it's just, and I think it also it has to do with maybe like, I don't want to say killing time because it's kind of like insulting to whoever's streaming, but I think like just having something like that on, it's like you don't have to devote a lot of time to it, and it's really just about like if the person's funny enough, then they'll get people to watch them.
Also, another thing to add on to that, Anthony, the feedback. Because streaming allows you that one-to-one instant feedback from viewers when you're doing it live, and even YouTube to an extent, because the comment sections for likes and dislikes, etc., and such. There's that strong connection to your viewer base that is a big deal, especially for streaming, again, because it's live like that. You can instantly talk to them, and you could have conversations with people that are just, again, garnering all this attention.
Yeah, the community definitely, like the community aspect is definitely a big part of it.
Yeah, like I used to be one on the other side of this because I didn't get it either. I'm like, why are you watching other people play games? It's kind of, this is a little bit weird. But then, as I started getting more into it, you're right about it. You're not really watching it just for the game. You're watching it for the personality. You're watching it for the interactions they have with the people watching it. And then as a person, because I stream myself, I love the fact that I could play a game and get instant feedback. The last time I really did it was with with Bloodborne, right? Because I was like, hey, you know what? This is going to be a good video because I've never played this shit. I'm probably going to die a lot. But it didn't turn out like that. It turned out it had like 40 people in there telling me, helping me out and stuff. And it just created a really cool sense of community. And watching it, again, you're not really watching it for the game. You're watching it more for the personalities. But even other aspects, like tonight, I was watching Evo. I'm watching streaming, essentially. And it's cool. It's like watching a sports match, basically, but for something I enjoy instead of actual sports. So, yeah, but let's just be honest. It's like, it's not a fad. It's here to stay. This is the new way for people to get games out there. And more companies are devoting streaming, time and stuff. Like, they'll have the developers going to stream their games, all that stuff. So it's not going away. So
and that's a way to build hype, too, because you see, games like Rocket League, right? Like, it was free on PS Plus. And because of that, everyone that is big on Twitch is streaming it now, and the domino effect of that is more people going to download your game and playing it.
Yeah, and then the other good advantage is it's not a trailer that's perfectly edited together. It's the actual real game played in front of you. You kind of, in a way, don't even need a game review. You just watch a stream for like 30 minutes, and that'll be enough for you to decide, hey, I want this game. So it's beneficial in that sense. Chris, get in here, man. What are your thoughts about streaming?
Well, I think it's like it's pretty much the most honest preview you could ever get. It's not quite a demo, but you're watching somebody play and you're getting their comments on it. And actually, I've even made decisions whether or not I was going to pick up something or try something based on someone else streaming it and the things they're saying and the things other people are saying. The other day, I watched Angry Joe play that new Godzilla game that came out from Bandai Namco.
And he probably had some choice words.
He said it's one of the worst games he played this year. He said it was just shit.
I knew it. I previewed that game at E3. I knew that game was going to be bad.
Yeah, so it's like, there you go. I don't ever need to touch that thing, man. It's just like listening to Tony talk about Castlevania. I don't ever need to touch that shit, That's how
Castlevania, though.
It's really an honest
Lords
review.
of Shadow. Lords of Shadow.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
You already know what's up. But yeah, you're right. And that's happened to me in reverse. I've played games and people were like, okay, I'm buying it now because they liked the way I was reacting to it and the shit I was doing. And they're like, you could do that? Like I was doing Saints Row 4. One of my boys like, okay, I got to get this game now. I didn't even know this shit existed. Like, I need this. But then it works in reverse. You see Godzilla, it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, it's not just watching him play because I don't know how the controls are. He's saying it while he's playing. Like, man, this controls like shit. This game is bullshit. Like, okay, that's all I need to hear, man.
Yeah. See, so basically the point is, streaming goes beyond just watching someone play. There's so many other benefits it has for you. Like you said, it could help you purchase or not purchase a game. It's like because you're not getting it from the developer, you're getting it from the person. I'm like, yo, the controls are jacked up, man. They fucked up Castlevania, shit like that. All right, so let's move on to the next question here. The last one from Final Stage Boss. This is a good one. Which game borrowed more from the other between Uncharted and Tomb Raider? Can I just go with the obvious answer? Like, Uncharted borrowed more from... Without Tomb Raider, you wouldn't have Uncharted, dude.
Exactly.
I know where you're
unless
coming
he
from.
means the newer Uncharted, but, I mean...
Yeah, I think that's where he's coming from, because, obviously, the new Tomb Raider is taking a lot of cues from Uncharted, but the thing is, if you played the Tomb Raider games for PS2, they were doing a lot of shit that Uncharted's doing, as far as the cinemas go.
Because Uncharted did it a little bit better and enhanced the experience. Yeah. Also, keep in mind, Tomb Raider and Uncharted borrowed from Indiana Jones.
They both did.
Things borrowed from.
So if you want to go back to the origin, which influenced what more? Indiana Jones influenced the shit out of both of them. But as far as gameplay goes, you can't even question that. Uncharted borrowed way more from Tomb Raider than Tomb Raider borrowed from Uncharted. You can't even, do we disagree here? I don't think we do.
We have to look at is how long ago Tomb Raider came out. It's like decades apart, almost.
1995 versus 2007 was the first Uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 20 years, basically, or 10 years. It's a lot. So
now, here's what would have been a better question. Which one had the biggest impact at the time when they first released?
At the time.
That's
an easy one, too.
If
we're talking about the first game in the series, that's an easy one. If we're talking about the first game in the series, Tomb Raider undoubtedly left a bigger impact. However, if we're going with the sequel, Uncharted 2 made a bigger impact than Tomb Raider 2 did. Because, let's be honest, Uncharted 1 was just an okay game. It didn't do anything special. It was basically Gears of War and Tomb Raider mixed into one. Uncharted 2 is that took the shit to the next level, But I don't think there's much more to say about that. Tomb Raider definitely had more of an influence on Uncharted than the other way around.
Yeah.
All right. Next question, my man Phantom Vash. This is a good one. What are your thoughts on Capcom's new DLC strategy for Street Fighter V? About fucking time. Yeah.
I think we can all
got some
agree
choice
too.
words for that.
Seriously, it's like, listen, now we don't have to buy a million versions. Okay, let's just break it down, right? You had Street Fighter 4. You had Super Street Fighter 4. You had Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. You had Ultra Street Fighter 4. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Don't
People
forget
don't
about
want that
AE
shit
2012. Don't forget about that.
You don't think that
there.
DLC aside, do you think that we'll ever see? Because a lot of the they have new characters in the Street Fighter editions, but a lot of them are made to like tweak character balances and stuff.
Yeah, and they said that stuff's going to be free. All those tweaks are going to be free, and then they said that the new characters you could unlock them. You could, but remember what they said. They said you could unlock them. They didn't say that you can't buy them. You know you're gonna.
No,
oh yeah, of course you
really
can
was
buy them.
confirmed
Yeah.
You could do that. You could buy the Zenny and stuff, and then they have to fight money inside the actual game. But here's the thing that I think everybody should keep in mind and such. It actually stems back to Mortal Kombat X that everybody complained about. Remember that you had the option to unlock everything in the crypt instantaneously when you paid, I think it was like $20 or so.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of like Sony and Microsoft, where it's like Capcom is Sony, and they just watched how
exactly.
Mortal
You
Kombat
could do it
handled
the
it.
old school way, but the thing is that a lot of people were complaining that didn't get that. There was a bunch of people that had review copies of the game early, and then they were able to play the game alongside everybody else, and they noticed the difference between the amount of money that you earned in game, the fight currency, in order to purchase stuff in the crypt was significantly slower than before. And I could totally see something like this being an issue.
Yeah.
And didn't they the day one patch, didn't it like lower the money that you got also?
That's my point, exactly. That's what people were complaining about, and I could totally see that with Capcom because already their past is pretty much a good indicator of how they are sometimes with stuff. One thing I will say though, and it's a good thing, that hopefully that they're actually starting to learn that their old model of releasing different versions of their same game
that shit is dead, man.
That can't fly in 2015.
In this day and age.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
the
they're
other thing
doing something that's different. And now, from my understanding, they're starting to learn that from other companies. I know that other companies have been going through like a similar thing, like Sega right now. They've been going through a similar thing where they're learning from Atlas on how to handle their IPs a little bit. So hopefully, Capcom is starting to kind of catch on a little bit with the same type of evolution here. But I'm still a little bit cautious with this.
Yeah, no, I agree with you because they could do some shit like that where it's like, it's like, hey, you want to unlock, M. Bison. I mean, actually, you want to unlock Blanca. Beat the game with every single character and get it perfect. It's like, whoa, who the fuck? Like,
yeah, it's very, very questionable.
Yeah, it's they could do sneaky stuff like that, but I think they've learned now with especially with character rebalancing, like the fact that you have to pay an additional $40 every time. It's like, oh, we've rebalanced the characters and here's 20 more characters. Or we have costumes. It's like, fucking hell. And they already got caught with their pants on. Everybody knew the DLC was in the fucking games. Like Street Fighter Cross Tekken was guilty of that.
Exactly. They're just not on the best side when it comes to DLC. Nobody looks at Capcom and says anything good about their DLC practice, not just with their fighting games, some of their other games too, including Resident Evil, Dragon's Dogma, etc. I mean, again, hopefully Capcom has an uphill battle on a lot of stuff. I mean, I've been very hard on Capcom over the last couple of years, and rightfully so, because there's always been some sort of issue with them that just tends to pop up in the worst timing possible for them. Again, whether it's the thing about Mega Man, whether it's their DLC practices with Street Fighter or Street Fighter Cross Tekken, etc. Which, by the way, Tekken Cross Street Fighter still hasn't come out yet.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't really look at Capcom with a really friendly eye lately. Now, hopefully they do right with this, with the actual DLC with practices and stuff, and allowing people to kind of earn their stuff in their game while giving a lot of optional stuff like cosmetic stuff. I could totally see them making money with that. But again, still a lot of reason to be cautious.
Yeah, I mean, you can easily do the thing where it's if you want to pay for everything, you can pay for everything, but just make it easier, or not easier, just make it a feasible thing to where if you're playing the game religiously, you can unlock everything.
Yeah, no, it should definitely be like that, and I think putting up these artificial paywalls will not do well for them, especially when you have stuff like Killer Instinct where you have the seasons coming up or whatever, but the game that's a truly ever evolving game. Now I think Warner Brothers had it right with the last Mortal Kombat, but they got they got greedy with Mortal Kombat 10. Let's be
Well,
real.
it seems like Mortal Kombat 10, like, I can understand where if you want to purchase everything, like maybe you just don't have the time to play the game that much, like that's totally fine, but don't punish the people who don't pay by making them earn less money and take
Or
longer
work
to unlock
harder.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Work hard,
that's
it's
the
worst thing you can
paywall.
do to them. I hated that. That was one of the things that I said because in all previous Mortal Kombat games, on the PS2 and even now up to the reboot Mortal Kombat 9, I was able to get everything in the crypt. Mortal Kombat X is probably the first game out of all those more modern MK games where I haven't bought everything in the crypt, and decidedly so, like consciously so. Because again, I'm a huge fan of the series, but I felt like every time, like after going through all the arcade ladders with all these characters, I still feel like I can only buy like a couple coffins in that game, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah, because it's the dark lesson learned from mobile, right? You create artificial paywalls. It's either play and play and play and grind and grind and grind until you can get where you're going, or just pay us and you're instantly set.
You know who got it right though? Tekken. Tekken got it right, I feel like, and also Dead or Alive. I felt like got it right because they have a lot of cosmetic stuff, and specifically in Dead or Alive where you could purchase those outfits, and a lot of them are kind of stupid, admittedly so, but primarily all the characters, all the story-based content, all the modes, and all like the key important core stuff is in out of the package for those games, which is great because they still feel like super solid releases with that extra like gravy that you could get later on.
Yeah, I guess let's move on to the next question.
Yeah, let's just go to the next one. Tony's got some difficulties.
He's a little MIA.
So Phantom Bash asked, do you think more fighting games will follow this type of DLC model in the future?
Hopefully.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely don't see Tekken taking this route because I think they already found their kind of like stride. But Mortal Kombat already has kind of started that, I guess you could say.
Yeah, well, this kind of like you said earlier, this kind of started with Mortal Kombat messing up or like getting the bad press that they got. So hopefully they learn from this and maybe not necessarily follow Capcom's thing, but like work on their own.
I'll tell you one company that won't do it. It's the guys who make Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear. Those guys, I think they're good because they put all their content straight up in there from the very get-go, and they don't really have a lot of DLC. I mean, most of the DLC they do have usually is either updates, like tweaks to the game, or even stuff that they just give away for free. It's very, very far from few between that you find something that you actually have to actively pay for in those games.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big fighting game fan, so I mean, I would like to see other games maybe take this DLC route, but I mean, that's cool with fighting games too.
Yeah.
I'll just be glad that Capcom is getting rid of the old way of doing things, which is like just buy another version of the game every single time we have an update.
It's not official yet. Just be cautious.
Cautious optimism.
I really don't believe them. It's like they're not trustworthy yet. So if they do that, and they're like, suckers, fuck you, we're doing it here. Super Street Fighter 5,
On the Xbox also, guys.
Because we like money.
Yeah, I mean, you have cautious optimism, I guess. You just kind of hope for the best.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stay tuned.
Look out! Quick, get it back up! Hurry! Are we all clear? Oh, okay, we're all clear. Great. All right, hit the red button. No, not that button!
And now, Freakazoid.
Hello, people. We're back once again, thanks to the wonders of modern technology, which also failed us. We're back. I think we answered a couple of the questions while my shit just completely died. So we're going to pick up with the next question. I guess all this will be nice and edited for you people, so you won't notice any of this shit. And look at the low camera angle. I look so big now. Anyway, this stop fucking around. Last question. In your opinion, what is the most overrated gaming franchise and what is the most underrated gaming franchise? A little bit of a variation of something we've been asked before.
Yeah, so we got into it a little bit, and I mean, my answer before I even answer, I guess, was I know a lot of people probably say like Call of Duty or something, but for me that's not overrated because they're always like solid games and they always sell well. Yeah, so like I don't know what would be overrated, but my answer was like sports franchises because there's very little change all the time, and they're very like well received, but I just don't understand why.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because normally my answer would have been Call of Duty as well, but you're right. People receive them well, and I personally think Call of Duty's actually had a bit of a turnaround this generation, especially with modern, Advanced Warfare, and the new one looks really good too. I got to play some of that, so I'm not gonna say that overrated though. See, I want to say sports franchises are overrated, but are they? Because aren't they just expected to do well because they're sports games?
Well, they're expected to do well, but there's never any change. It's always just kind of like better graphics and like maybe like team changes and stuff like that. But there's never any like real change. It seems like.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Madden just for the fuck of it. Madden's overrated.
Yeah, I mean, I love sports games. Like I play NBA and Madden and stuff like. So, but I mean, it's just you got to be real about it.
Yeah. All right. I guess you guys gave your answers, so we don't need to go over that.
Well, no, only I did. Chris and Jake did.
Yeah. Do you guys have any answers then?
I'll go with him. The same type of thing that he said. I mean, I said also Madden as well because again, same reasons and such. But as far as underrated games, I would say that the Sly Cooper series is underrated heavily.
Oh, yeah, Sly Cooper's so good, man.
I love Sly Cooper, specifically the first 3 games.
Sly Cooper's great.
Yeah,
I love playing those games. Those were the first 3 games I ever platinumed on my PSN profile. It was just really that much fun for me to actually play those games, and they really don't get a lot of credit.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Oh man, I got to think about underrated because that's a good one. Would it be weird for me to say Shenmue is underrated?
Maybe. Nah, well, Chris, what do you think is the most overrated for you?
I don't know. I mean, I agree with the sports games. That's a tough one. That's a
tough question. Yeah.
Yeah, because outside of the sports games, I can't really think of anything because like anything that is really popular that I can think of, or it has solid games behind it or really good games. Like it's different than you say like what franchise is like overdone or like it's just like getting old, but that's not the question. It's like overrated. So that's a tough one. I'll go with the majority here and just. I'll go with Madden.
I think a series that doesn't really get a lot of love is kind of underrated is the Fear games. I really enjoyed the Fear games.
Yeah.
Especially the first one. Like that was a really scary game, and it had like pretty cool like FPS like integration with it. So that would probably be one of mine for underrated.
I don't know. That's a hard one to answer. Underrated. Because
Call of Duty, that's obvious.
Call of Duty is underrated. Damn, I wish I had more. Yeah, Sly Cooper's a good one. Even though I think Sly Cooper does well, but it doesn't do super well, so I guess that is underrated.
Well, nobody really talks about it. That's the thing.
Exactly.
That's a great franchise.
And I feel like it should do a lot better because those games are just so much fun. Those are like traditional, 3D platforms, but just like a new modern take on them. It's like really fun.
Yeah. See, I would have said something like Ratchet and Clank, but those games get a lot of love,
And he's getting a remake too.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Let's move on. By the way, thank you, Torrance, because we were short on fucking questions this week. I'm like, Torrance, throw us some good stuff because Torrance always has good questions for us, and he delivered. All right. Let's start it off. Is it harder for people on the fence to choose their console of choice when launch exclusives like Goat Simulator are eventually heading to competing platforms? I think Goat Simulator is a little bit of a joke, but he's at a point there. What if you're like, hey, I know this game is coming out on this console first, but it's going to be out on that console later, and I kind of like that console better. Maybe I should wait. Like, do you think that kind of hurts it when games are just multi-plat like that?
I think it's for specific games because, let's put it this way, a lot of people, if not probably all of us, are going to pick up Metal Gear Solid 5 on PlayStation 4. Or we're going to pick up Final Fantasy VII Remake on PlayStation 4. Or you might pick up, I don't know, some people out there will pick up the Call of Duty games strictly just on Xbox platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works for certain games, especially really popular games or games that have a legacy with a specific platform, but not every game.
I think it also depends on how much of a fan of the games you are and how bad you want to play them. Like if you're, we know Street Fighter's never come to the Xbox. That's a bad example. But, I guess so. Like if you're a big Street Fighter fan, then like the only way you can play it right now is on the PS4. But eventually Street Fighter 6 will probably come out for the Xbox. Like it's not going to be forever PS exclusive. So you kind of have to like judge whether do you want to play it now immediately or just kind of wait it off.
Yeah, because you have a game like Cuphead, right? That may come to PlayStation one day, right? So do you wait?
That's a better example than Street Fighter, probably.
Yeah, or even back in the day, Mass Effect, right? What if you're a PlayStation guy?
Here's a good one. Dustin
Yeah.
Elysian Tale. Dustin Elysian Tale originally came out on 360, but then a little bit later it was free on PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you do in that point? Yeah, but so I guess to answer the question, it is harder for people on the fence when that sort of stuff happens because you don't really know where to go.
See, Torrance is trying to trick us all. The correct answer is you buy a PC.
You know what? I think you're right.
If you're really that on the fence about it, it'll probably be on the PC. Yeah,
That's true. Damn you, Torrance. You got us.
You did it, Torrance. You did it.
All right, next question. If Marvel does their own Blade film, do you think they'll negate Trinity? They're going to negate everything, dude. They're starting from scratch.
They would negate everything, and it wouldn't be rated R.
Yeah, it wouldn't be rated R. It'd be PG-13. Unless I say, this is just for film. I say they should do a Blade TV series, not like the one with sticky fingers, not like that.
Like a Netflix series, like what they're doing with the other
like
superheroes on Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if they do a film, forget about it. They're going to redo from scratch, and it's going to be PG-13, just like Nash said.
Yeah. So you hope that they don't do one.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
No, I agree. They would have to make that more family friendly, and more than likely they would not give him a film again. They would just
they would definitely negate the trilogy though, the Trinity.
Yeah, they would start him over.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. That was pretty simple right there. Here we go. If you could interview Anita Sarcastic, what kind of questions would you ask her? Man, so many questions for this woman. First of all, I would ask her, do you write your own stuff or is it all Macintosh? Is it all just him? Do you really believe the shit you're saying? How much money do you actually make off of this? Do you like video games? Or, things of that nature. That's what I would ask her.
Well, I'd ask her if she's funding any type of program to get more women into computer science. Is she funding women getting into gaming? Is she funding anything like that? Where's her money going actually to improve this problem that she's found and she's harping on? What is she doing to solve it?
Yeah, and going off on that, it's like, why don't you make more videos that celebrate video games? If you claim to be a gamer, why don't you do that? Why so everything has to be negative? Do you have to nitpick every single little game that comes out? Like, what is the, like, I understand, actually, no, I know the answer to that. What's the point? Is money. That's the main point of this. But yeah, why don't you make more positive videos? Do you always have to be so negative? And you're right. What are you doing to help women in science and technology? Exactly. With all this influence, why aren't you doing more for that instead of just complaining? Anybody else got any questions for her?
I don't know enough about any backstory to have actual questions.
Honestly, I mean, it really, if I had to do an interview with her, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't let a lot of like what's been said about her or what that's been talked about, like what she does and such, really kind of get in the way with it. I mean, I would ask her probably a little bit much more in detail about her views and why she has like certain perspectives of like what she does about gaming specifically, not just about female tropes or not just about like female characters and such in gaming, but why is it that like she has like specific pessimistic views on gaming specifically, like why be so harsh on it? A little bit much more so than a critic, because if you look at a lot of her comments and opinions about gaming, when she's not doing her whole tropes in video games thing and stuff, she really kind of like really scrutinizes a lot of games, just a little bit unjustifiably so sometimes. Like she's reaching a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with that, dude. She definitely is reaching. So that's a good question. Why do you feel you go out of your way to look for things that may not necessarily be there?
Or does it really bother you that much? More like, that's like how I would word it. It's like, does it really bother you that much about certain aspects about gaming right now, or like any specific type of games I could probably pull out?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot. We could definitely get deep with that woman. All right, next question here. I've asked the $1 million question before. Now I'm upping the stakes. $10 million just dropped on your lap after taxes. What do you do with it? I'm going to answer this question because we have two guys that weren't here before to answer this. $10 million, a lot different than $1 million. My answer hasn't really changed too much. I'll still like invest a good chunk of it like somewhere so I can make more money perpetually. But granted, $10 million, that's enough for the rest of your life right there. You kind of don't need to invest.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Like, you really don't need to with that kind of money. As long as you don't buy a $10 million house or something.
I would probably, I mean, if I'm being honest, first thing I would do is probably buy my mom a house or something like that. but I think I would move everybody that, like her, like my family, whatever. I think I would move them out of New York, just because it's too expensive to own any property here.
But if you have $10 million, that kind of negates
Yeah, I
it.
mean, it'd be nice to live in like New York City, but like, have you ever seen like those crazy apartments in New York City that cost like $1 million? Like,
See,
I
here's the
wouldn't.
funny thing. Even if I had $10 million, I wouldn't live in Manhattan. I would still live in Queens, but I would just live in a better part of Queens. You know, that's what I
Yeah,
would do.
I guess I could live out here. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I would probably just invest it or hire like a financial advisor or something to help me manage it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, see, I'm kind of blown with this. I wouldn't want to buy like fancy cars or anything. Like even a house. Like I don't even know if I want to buy a house. I just really want to like live in a really fancy hotel or something.
See, my thing is
know?
like even if I ever won the lottery, I think I would hire somebody to kind of like, if I could, like, I guess like a financial advisor, I would go to them and be like, hey, I want to get this, and they could just like slap me on the wrist and be like, no, you can't get this.
And yeah, it goes without saying. You said I forgot to. If you know me, if you're a friend of mine, and I consider you a close friend, you're getting hit off. You're getting hit off.
Yeah, see, because a lot of people, you always talk about like what you like. I think if I had like, maybe over, I guess like 10 million is fine. All like close friends and stuff, you would get like one big gift, and then that's it. Like you wouldn't get constant gifts.
No, just one big gift. Like
Yeah, like one big gift. Like
suddenly, you and JJ may find a check for $200,000 or something. You know, something like that. But but obviously, closer friends and family, they're getting hit off. Like, yo, you want a house or something? I got you, man. You know. But I definitely want to make that 10 million work for you. You don't want to just blow it all. You want to make that 10 million generate money, because it's a lot easier to make money when you have money.
Yep, takes money to make money. Man.
Yeah, exactly. JJ, what about you, man?
Well, I mean, I would do a little bit of a combination of both of that again. Take care of really close family and friends, that really kind of did well for me or did well by me and such. Obviously, so I'd probably take like half that money, like that, about $5 million of that, probably store it away again so it could just generate the interest and just live off of that. But then I'd take a bunch of the other money and actually not only travel and go to different countries, so that way I could learn a little bit more about the world and a little bit more about people, to become a little more wiser as I get older, over maybe like take like about a couple years just to go to different places, different countries I've never been to. So that way I could kind of adopt it into my own kind of like understanding of my environment and understanding of people, and my career of choice and such. And then probably I would take a little bit of that money and actually do certain things that I necessarily always wanted to do. Like I've done it already at this point, but I would love to do it a little bit much more with a lot more control, but host my own giant convention. I actually would love to take
awesome.
a lot of money and just like get, rent out a giant place for like a weekend, maybe about 4 days, get a bunch of specific guests and specific people that I know that are like doing well or doing good stuff in the industry, and actually get them all together, like a select group of people that I would handpick and choose, just get it all in one place like that, and just have a fantastic freaking weekend and do something like that, as far as like, again, celebrating games, celebrating anime, celebrating all the fun stuff that I love to be a part of, but allowing everybody else to come in and experience that with me. Like this is, it would be the type of thing where I'd be like, okay, no, this is how you do a great, awesome, memorable convention or expo or some type of event. And I would do that. I would invite everybody. And if I was crazy enough to do so, and if I had the finances to do it, I'd probably make it free and just have everybody just be like, yo, just come for the weekend, come for this 4 days, and come experience the greatest time of your life.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's kind of a little bit of what I said when we asked the $1 million one. I would throw the most awesome rock metal concert ever with every band I like, every band. It's like, yo, and I would invite everybody for free too. Come on, let's go. Let's fucking rock out. I would definitely do that, like a Rock in Rio slash those German festivals, but in America. Set it like maybe set it in the heartland too, so everybody could just show up. I'm just talking about indulgences and stuff like that. I would definitely do that type of shit. And I would also start like a big. I had this dream since I was a kid. I wanted to like create a comic book store, right? But obviously, now it would be our comic book store slash arcade slash like awesome nerdy bookstore. Like an all-in-one nerdy shit kind of store. Collectibles and all that other stuff. I would definitely do that. I would want to give back to the community in that way. That'd be really cool. And then like Jay said, like if you have a convention like that, that'd be really good too. Just because if you have all that kind of money, why not use it to give back to your people?
Yeah.
Chris, what about you? $10 million this time, not just $1 million.
I think after I take care of friends and family and invest some of it, I would go live on a beach for a year I would go to Hawaii and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do nothing right now for like a year. I'm gonna just
Yes.
suck my feet and have a hammock and drink stuff out of coconuts and like I'm gonna just chill out right now and do nothing. After everyone's set, like I'll be on the beach here. You come find me here. You know?
Yeah, you
I
know, I
don't.
would
I
probably
would
do
just
that
chill.
along the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just feel like, I would use the bulk of that money, a little bit on myself just again so I could just get a better understanding to do things I never was able to do. Because I'm pretty sure like most of us and most people out there would never go to specific places in the world, or they would never see, certain areas of the world, or because of the inability to just get out there and such.
Yeah.
And I would just love to see it, go and see a country on every single continent and just go hang out
Yeah.
and just experience it
Yeah.
and just see what's up.
I didn't bring up the obvious, thing. Obvious, I'll just say this without going too much. I would go to Holland, Amsterdam, for about a good maybe half year and indulge in everything they have. And I'm not talking about drugs. I'm not talking about drugs. I think you people know what I'm talking about. All those women from all around the world in one place.
You just want to get a little cuddle action. That's
exactly. A little cuddle. Because remember, Amsterdam's a very international city. All kinds of women there. You
want to do the chocobo dance in Amsterdam. That's all.
I would live there. Maybe extend it for a year or two. Who knows? But I would definitely do some shit like that. I would. I like that whole idea of traveling places. Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to China now. Why the fuck not? I'm going to fucking the Middle East. I'm going to Africa. Why not? You have money. Because you're right, the people live differently than we live here. It'll be a very eye-opening experience, That question a lot. That was a good one. All right, ask the last one here. The last question. This is a good one too. Thank you again, Torrance. You've been hired to direct a future superhero film. You have a ton of scripts in front of you. Which one do you choose? Ooh, tough question too, man. Because like all the shit I want, it's kind of already happening.
Yeah, I would probably do. Well, I mean, I would have done a Deadpool movie before. There's a movie coming out now. So, I don't know. I've always wanted to see like an actual like proper adaptation of Venom and Carnage on like the movie screen. Ooh. So I'd probably do something with like the symbiotes from Spider-Man.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, go ahead, JJ.
No, go ahead. I'll do.
Oh no, I was gonna say I'm gonna go with it. Even though I don't know the exact tone they'll take with it, but I'm gonna go with Invincible. I want to see Invincible on screen. Invincible's like easily one of my favorite comics out there. Robert Kirkman did that. I would love to see that, but I don't know how they would pull it off exactly. Because to me, Invincible would probably work better as a TV series. Hey, if I had $10 million right now, actually that would still be a low budget. Never mind. Invincible would be good. As far as mainstream superheroes goes, it's a tough one because I said all of them are already coming, So I'm gonna go with Invincible with that one. That's gonna be my answer. I want to do an Invincible movie. JJ, go ahead.
Honest to God, I mean, I don't know if mine would be the most boring or probably the most interesting choice, but I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a huge fan of Alex Ross, and I love his paintings, and I love a lot of his work and such. But I would love to see and actually probably take hand on a live action adaptation of Kingdom Come.
Oh shit!
Because I love that story. I think that's such an awesome story to actually to check out. I read it multiple times throughout the year, like every once in a while. It's such same thing with Justice. I don't know if you guys have read Justice before.
Yeah, I've read Justice.
Again, it's really for the artwork and such, but it's still a pretty good story. But Kingdom Come specifically because that's an interesting story, especially in relation to Superman. And I feel like that's a way of handling Superman, especially, as a legacy type of superhero, dealing with a lot of the tropes of what the modern day is kind of like bringing him and how he kind of like, deals with all that. Again, the death of Lois Lane, there's a lot of stuff in there that's DC Universe oriented, and I would love to kind of like see something like that play out for like 2.5 to maybe 3 hours in the movie. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I find it, you bring that up. I've always said, even though it's not directly built as one, I still say Kingdom Come is one of the best Superman stories ever told.
Oh yeah, hands down.
It's fucking brilliant. And you know what, JJ, jumping off on that, I would love to see Marvel's. Imagine that shit.
Marvel's, yeah, just again another offshoot like that. It's just a fun, the thing is Alex Ross, because of the way he paints very like classical Renaissance like. With that like realistic, super hyper realistic, anatomy with a lot of the superheroes that could be easily, transferred to the big screen, like in motion picture. Because again, all you really have to do is just find someone with a very similar body type, which he does because he uses real life models.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would love to see that shit. I mean, if you're going to talk about movie adaptations of stories like that, I would love to see Superman Red Sun as a live-action
Red
movie.
Son, that's another cool one. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that'd
a
be
lot
good.
of good ones.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking insane if you get that. Even All Stars, even though they already had one, the animated one, All Star Superman might be cool.
Or if you want to do like what DC's doing with the grittiness lately with all their movies, especially Suicide Squad, Killing Joke. That'd be
Oh,
an
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's getting animated, but imagine a live-action version of that. That'd be fucking
that'd be
nuts.
So
crazy.
that's actually getting animated? Really?
Yeah, they're
it
making
is.
an animated movie out of
Oh, I
it.
didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Ooh,
2016, bro. It's coming.
Awesome.
And check this out. Mark Hamill's like, hey, I want to be Joker.
Oh, of course. Who else is going to get to be able to play the Joker? That's
I just find
that's
that-
a given.
They were getting Troy Baker
He was
taking
born
his
to
job,
play
man.
that role.
Troy Baker
I just find
was
that funny
taking
because
his
remember
job.
he was talking all that shit like I'm done with
Yeah,
being Joker.
Yeah, sure, son, you're done. Yeah, you're going to be doing this for the rest of
Look at him in Arkham Knight.
No, I'm telling you, he only came back because Troy Baker did a fucking good job imitating him. And he's
Yeah,
like,
they really
shit,
like crap.
He's like, okay, I can't be
Hancock did a
outdone
good
here.
job too in Injustice also. He sounded a little bit close to that Mark Hamill, not too much though.
Yeah, Chris, man, what about you? What movies would you like to see?
I would love to see him. I said this before, but The Question. I would love to see a
shit.
good conspiracy mystery story. He's a character that I loved in DC. And I think, well, it'd probably be better as a series, but if you're telling movie script, yeah, I'd love to see that made into something.
Yeah, or directed in this case.
Yeah.
There's
Oh, yeah,
a
that's
lot of people
funny.
from the DC universe, like a ridiculous amount of superheroes that just have not been in the public consciousness for a while.
Yeah, definitely, man. All right, I guess that's pretty much it. Short show. Well, we're basically all four New Yorkers here. We always rattle shit off anyway. JJ, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care if you live in Florida. You're a New Yorker in my eyes, bro.
Thank you. I've been there for a long, long time before I came down here.
Yep, you can't lose that accent, bro.
Of course not.
All right. One last thing. Only a couple of days left. Please, please, please buy our coalition shirts. Come on, guys. Because this way if we have enough orders, we could order more and have more shit for you guys. I know you guys want them, so the links in right here and stuff. So just make sure you check those out. Only a couple of days left, and so because this was just like a trial run, just to see the gauge the interest. So you want more, we'll get you more. You just got to order them. They're not expensive. $20, high quality shit. It's good stuff.
Yep.
All right, so let's wrap it up. Thank you for watching and listening. Be sure to follow The Coalition at thecoalition.com. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are available in the description below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Jake James Lugo.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Definitely, man. Chris Seeley.
It was fun, guys.
And Anthony Nash.
Good night, everybody.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Later.
Peace.
See ya.